And this sequel of a reboot to a trilogy that was based on a series of comics, Garfield and Friends return to the screen, this time joined by Black Daddy Warbucks and the creepy kid from Chronicle, in a feature presentation of bizarre avant-garde Tesla coil music production.
It was The Amazing Spider-Man 2!
Excelsior!
It's amazing. With a blink of an eye, you finally see the light. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, when the moment is...
Thwip thwip, coming straight from the web, it's Resisting Boredom, and we're swinging into this review. Our spider sense is telling us you should stick around because when we're done, you'll know what we thought of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm Brandon Kaiser.
Josh Jessen.
Kid Coleman Cole.
Casey Monahan.
It is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It is directed by Mark Webb again, who did the first Amazing Spider-Man. It stars Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Jamie Foxx, Dane DeHaan, now I'm going to think, Chris Cooper.
Why start?
Who else is in this movie?
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. Uncredited, we can't say
Dennis
Dennis
Leary.
Leary.
Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine is not in. Sally Field is in.
Oh, sorry.
Sally
I
Field.
got those two mixed up somehow. Maybe we were in Steel Magnolias. I don't know.
Felicity Jones and Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
That's okay. Alright. Yeah. That's
In a breakout role.
Good enough. Good enough.
In a breakout role.
Right. All right. Start us off. We'll give you our review in 2 of the movie. I will start. Webb, Garfield, and Stone are still the highlights. Spider-Man quips excellently, but the movie is kind of uneven.
Alright. I thought this was a very well-made action-adventure movie with a questionable sound decision.
a good start to the summer with interesting new concepts to classic villains, and Paul Giamatti doing a really weird Russian accent.
He paused and it wasn't a
Better than
sentence.
the first one. Bad guys are kind of goofy.
Alright, now we'll open up some discussion. So, what was good about this movie, guys? What did you guys like?
I really liked the action sequences. I thought the cinematography was good. They had tighter action or tighter shots on some of the things, but it was still easy to follow what was going on.
Yeah.
And then it was a moving camera, but it wasn't shaky cam. It smoothly went from one thing to the other.
Sometimes it was a little shaky, but for the most part, you're right.
Yeah.
It wasn't full on shaky cam.
And I think
No.
one thing this movie really has had, and even the first Amazing Spider-Man, is the action sequences. What you said, yeah, no, they film them really. They're kind of brutal, but really clean. I guess is
They're well choreographed.
Yeah, it's just a really well choreographed,
Well thought out, yeah.
very sharp, and they don't do the jostling a whole lot. They don't
Yeah.
do all the stuff that like some of the other movies have done, where it's it's just kind of disorientating when they get into the action sequences, and they kind of do that purposely. Sometimes it seems just so they don't have to. They can shimp out on some of the more whatever graphic shit, but this one and the last movie, they both really just kind of nail in all of the action stuff, which I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think Mark Webb does a good job. I think he has an interesting style, and the way he uses some of the slow motion and stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
I did think the slow motion stuff was really cool. In this
Oh,
one.
Yeah, some really cool, like slowing down how he's thinking to get through all the
Yeah, no, I like it. I like now that we've evolved, it's no longer bullet time. Matrix is such a. It's beyond bullet time now. So now
Yeah.
it used to be just the overused slow down bullet time mechanic. When it was overused, it was called bullet time. Now it's back to being slow motion effects because it's now it makes sense to you.
Now it's-
sometimes.
And it's nice because it pans around the entire scene, so you can see what's going on with a whole bunch of stuff at the same time.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
I know
the
what you're
stairs,
talking
It's
about.
it's used
thing.
now so that you can follow
Smartly.
Yeah.
fast and
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
things.
It's used smartly now as opposed to like
for the hell of it.
Like,
it's
just
just-
for an
10
effect.
years ago.
Yeah.
For those
Like
like
8
action
years ago
scenes
or
where like,
something.
what the hell just happened? Oh, this is
Yeah.
what happened. Yeah.
yeah, I
Not
think,
Max Payne bullet time.
And then it is used to build tension in a couple of scenes too.
Yeah. Smart use. I like.
On the other side of that, I guess, kind of, is I think the relationship stuff, once again, is excellent. Like, maybe not as apparent as the first one, but the moments that were there were really good,
Yeah.
really natural. And
They've played it in the same thing with the first one. At least the returning actors, it's a lot of believable acting. You know, like their interactions, everything. That's what I really liked about the first one. I mean, and this was part of the sentence that I forgot to say before. But a lot of the problem with this movie, I thought, was again, as good as everything, all the parts are. It's the retelling of a story that we've literally had a dozen times at this point.
in what way? What part of it are you saying is...
It's the,
without spoiling.
not even a Spider-Man thing. This is the part where you get the coming. You know, it's the second superhero movie thing. It's now we're established hero,
Okay.
but now there's problems with the people he's met before, and he's
Okay.
got to overcome that. So, like, it's not a new story.
I think it's kind of where it has to go, though, too.
But it is. That's like it's also the
In certain personal conflicts.
It's the personal
Yeah.
conflicts of now that I'm an established hero. Like the first one's the origin. This is how I became. The second one's always the now that I am a hero. How does it affect people around me?
Yeah,
How to
yeah.
stay
And how
the
do
hero?
I deal with that?
How do I keep being the hero that I have to be? We've done it before.
Not the one you deserve.
Yeah, we've done it before. Which,
I still think they did a good
but it's
thing.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of the thing is the interactions with all the actors, especially the returning cast, is just it may be something we've seen before, but it's still they do it interestingly and they keep it fresh. I guess I'm hesitant to say fresh because I mean it's still the same stuff, but it's still interesting. I guess.
Yeah.
It's presented in a believable.
I have seen plenty of people go through that same relationship cycle that they
Yeah.
were doing.
It seems believable. I mean, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone have an on-screen chemistry that also goes off-screen, but still, you know, it's there
Good
in
for
the
him.
movie. It's there in the movie.
Because that is ridiculous hair.
It makes it seem, you know, I don't know. It adds an extra layer to it, I guess, than what you don't always get in superhero movies. Anything else come to mind as being a positive of this movie that we can single out here? Wow. So this was a great movie.
Well, when it's a primarily.
Made sense.
I don't think it was as bad having so many characters as I thought it could be.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I think
they
they
did
handled
that well.
it decently, maybe not excellently, but you know.
Maybe not
I did like
amusingly.
I did like that they
No.
explained more about what happened to Richard and whatever his mom's
Mary?
name, Mary
Mary.
Parker.
Yeah.
That was actually
Well,
saying, yeah, they really didn't talk about it in
I-
the books and everything like that. And
They probably could have
No, I
done
know
some
they
more
probably
with
did.
Mary because she was just kind of tagged along.
I think it
Thrown in a bathroom and then
Yeah.
knocked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's like it.
It was
Classic woman.
They didn't have that in the first movie. Like the Tobey Maguires series, they didn't have that at all.
At all,
so.
yeah.
No, it
Well,
was.
it's nice that Sony's at least trying to build something.
Yeah. It was nice that they.
Yeah.
You can see the framework that they're doing,
Yeah.
and like because they want to make this their big thing. And
I
it's-
appreciate their attempt
Yeah.
at, you
Yeah.
know,
They set up the mystery in the first one. They kind of continued it in the second one, and then I'm sure there will be some information that he finds and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
thing and the stuff for the third one.
It's a greater overall arc,
Yeah.
especially knowing some of the players that are involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was bad about this movie then? What wasn't so great? What was...
Well, I won't say it wasn't great, but the music choice.
Yeah.
It was.
I
It was
thought
interesting.
It was interesting. See, and that's like, I still have no idea how I feel about it, but Electro, Jamie Foxx, his whole like musical, like the voices and
As I
the
said, yeah.
voice
And the
music,
music
sort of
in his
thing
scenes,
that
yeah.
in both of his scenes, like both of the.
Very synthy electronica sort
it was
of
really weird.
with film score.
And the thing, and I still don't really know how I ultimately would cast it on, like, if it's a bad thing or good thing. I can't automatically say I really
Yeah.
liked it, but at the same point, I can't say I hated it. It's just like, it was an interesting choice, and it was kind of cool, but it's also really cheesy at the same
I
time.
like the
I just-
rest of the score.
Yeah.
The like typical orchestral score.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they got the wubs and the Hans Zimmer parts of the,
I like that.
score, it was interesting. I don't know if I liked it or disliked it yet. I kind of liked it in terms of the scenes.
I love my wubs.
I don't know. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought
It definitely didn't ruin any of the scene.
Yeah.
no, it
So
didn't.
there was that at least.
The beginning with the cheesy, like, orchestral music stuff like that, I mean...
In the beginning, it seemed a little cheesy, but by the end, I
Yeah.
came around to it.
No,
I
that's
was like, okay,
like
I
the very
like
first
this
scene, I was like, it was kind of I don't know, it reminded me of Kick-Ass, the beginning of Kick-Ass with that fucking, and I know that's like an actual song, but it just, the intro to
Okay.
Kick-Ass is that
Yeah.
song that plays
Yeah.
when they're like introducing everything is really fucking cheesy. to me.
Yeah,
I think
it
it's-
is,
I think
it
it's a
is.
really shitty beginning.
It
It's
is.
got like that weird trumpet song, and do 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 do, and I'm like, this is just a bad song. Yeah, it's just like a bad song, and it's,
That's probably not anything what it sounds like.
It
Like
is-
we just did. Neither of
I
us.
could hear it in my
Pretty sure
head.
that was the cowboy movie song.
All right. Anyways.
Anyway,
we're not
I
talking
think that's a
about
bad
this.
beginning, and I think this movie, like the song that at least plays while he's coming down, it's a cool scene, and it's funny because like this is a Spider-Man thing. Everyone's got to perfect he's spinning around the building scene.
I like the way he moves. in
This
this
one's good. This one's like probably the best I've seen. But
Yeah.
I just
That's
realized
because they actually did it.
oh, cool. But,
I mean, on green screen and wires, and so they actually made sure that the movements were natural and
but
not
it's
CG.
always been like a thing. Like even in the Raimi Spider-Mans, you gotta have that opening web swinging, flying around the building scene and
Yeah.
try to get it look
Yeah,
cool
it's
and
true.
stuff. This is probably obviously the best.
Okay,
but the
so-
music playing was just kind of like
The music was interesting.
Yeah.
So
I did like the Amazing Spider-Man theme that they just kept whistling and having his ringtones and just
Yeah.
all over the place.
yeah,
I thought that was
it might have been a
hilarious.
little much, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I thought it was
it's
a good
clever
nod.
nod.
Yeah.
yeah. That was it.
So what do we dislike with this movie then? What do we question
What
upon?
else?
What about these villains?
Jamie Foxx was a little bit too creepily desperate.
Before he becomes Electro or after?
Before.
Or both? Or both?
Yeah, well,
Like,
it was
I know
to
he's
show-
supposed to be,
Yeah.
but that was it was a little bit much. I
At
thought.
first, I thought he was kind of like a little bit too far, but then as they went into it, and
Really, I had the opposite. At first, I was kind of okay with what was going on, and then as they took it further, I was like, all right, we're getting too
yeah.
far.
At first I was like, no, this is kind of weird. But then as they moved him up, I was like, I could understand, like, because I didn't think, because we knew we had Goblin and we knew we had Rhino, at least from the trailers. Thankfully,
Yeah,
Rhino.
yeah.
Thankfully, the Rhino stuff played out.
Yeah.
Probably
Better than we thought.
Better than I thought. Probably
Well,
just as
the
good.
suit though was.
Yeah.
Well, not the
we'll
suit.
get
I
to
just want to
the suit. We'll
Yeah.
get to the suit.
But I wasn't expecting a lot of Electro in this story.
Well, it is.
Original.
They've been saying it's Electro's story.
But then they brought in the Green Goblin, and
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
Harry Osborn's going to be the more important long run character.
sure.
I could have done with some more Green Goblin. I'll be honest.
But
I don't know
It
if I-
made sense how they did it in
Yeah.
this one, but I would like to see more Green Goblin.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the stylistic choices of really any of these villains, to be honest. Electro
like
was
the
maybe
pitch.
done the worst, or was maybe done the best. I mean,
Oh.
of all of them.
Well, that's
Uh,
but no, because I thought his suit was stupid.
Although I do
I
think
didn't really need the jumpsuit.
Where did he
I
get
Hey,
did-
look, we all
Look,
played.
let's see.
Hold on, we all
You know
played
what?
Infamous, so they couldn't keep him with the hoodie and the jacket through the whole.
No. You said you didn't like the suit. I liked when he was in the suit because otherwise I just kept thinking, is this guy Dr. Manhattan? Because
Yeah.
every time he came
Well,
out of nowhere to like
okay.
He did have the
recreate himself.
electro boxers.
When you
that's what he got.
materialize-
And every time he rematerialized,
No,
I'm like,
I was catching
this
that
is
vibe.
Dr.
Okay, wait.
Manhattan.
One, I was wondering how he materialized the boxers. Two, I'm wondering where the fuck he got the suit from.
I'm really wondering about that.
He even had lightning bolts.
Well,
on
to
the
be
side
fair,
of it.
that-
I'm guessing Harry
Well,
Osborn made it for him.
Yeah, if they already
He's
had
a
the
seamstress,
electro
yeah.
underwear and they were keeping him in the thing, they would have had access to more of the material.
Alright,
They could have just fabricated one.
I guess.
But all that aside, I
But
thought
the other villains, the looks of them, like the Green Goblin didn't necessarily look like what I think of as the Green Goblin, and I know that's
the
lizard
lizard,
could have been-
the lizard
the head
did look
could
like a
have
lizard.
really he did look like the lizard
He
a
did.
lot.
I actually liked the
Yeah, no, I
regular
thought-
head. That the suit wasn't really. It was just like a thing to kind of keep him alive.
Yeah,
That,
I did like that.
I'm glad he didn't have the
Spoilers,
Defoe mask, but I want something, like
He
I
had the
want.
big grin and the eyes. I thought.
The weird teeth.
I thought
That's because he looks like a fucking goblin already.
Exactly.
I thought Norman
So
Osborn.
good casting choice.
I thought Norman Osborn looked more like a goblin when he was like
That was intentional.
decrepit.
I think that
than-
was sort of
was
lizard
intentional.
or something like that.
I don't know,
he
it
was
was-
turning all green. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing. He was turning
Green and claws. And,
Yeah, that was intentional.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't feel.
But yeah, but
And the Rhino suit, I
Okay,
wanted to
now
like
we
it.
can talk about the Rhino
I
suit.
wanted to like
Anyway,
it,
I
but
thought-
I didn't.
I liked
really
Electro's
like it
arc.
that much.
at the end of the story, I liked Electro's arc. I thought he was doing a pretty good job in it, and I didn't have a problem with the progression of his character. At the end of it.
The only part about I actually liked the whole concept for the Rhino. I thought it was like neat so that it's better than like being a big bulky ass guy that he was in sort of mech suit. and
Said it was Paul Giamatti.
I liked it.
You're probably right, but the
My-
design of the mech suit I wasn't fond of.
I wasn't a problem with the design of the mech suit. I only had a problem with Paul Giamatti wearing like a wife beater inside the mech suit. That just seemed really weird to me. It's like he just broke out of prison, and they're like, "Here, get in," and that was
They don't wear
it.
wife beaters in prison.
Did they?
What was he wearing at the beginning
Well,
of the
there's
movie?
jumpsuits.
What? He was wearing a wife beater too.
Well, that was his attire of choice. Okay.
Wife beater, got it. It was just weird.
Paul Giamatti's legendary for his wife beating.
Not really.
No,
All right.
I don't know. I thought
he'll take that soy sauce though.
I read it in a wiki.
Okay. So, maybe what else was there anything else you want to talk about, Kate? Was that it?
That's what I want to talk about.
Okay, just that suit part, right? Just the white. You just wanted to bring up wife beaters.
So, well, he just looked weird. He just looked weird. The window opened, and it's weird that he announced he was the Rhino. It's like, all right.
I thought he was Gazelle, honestly.
Okay, the other kind of issue I had was the scale of this movie, the grand epic scale that they were going for, didn't quite reach it for me. I mean, I was enjoying what I saw for the most part. I was fine with the way they were setting things up, but there was just a lack of impressiveness, I guess, to everything overall. I don't know how to describe it exactly. I'm trying to, in a way that you can understand, but it just, nothing impacted me
Your
as
human
much.
language isn't eloquent enough.
Nothing impacted me as much as I guess felt it should or wanted it to, I guess. I don't know. Like, this wasn't Avengers to me. Avengers is a grand thing.
Whoa!
No. I know it's just Spider-Man, but I mean, even Captain America, there was a sense of epicness and grandness to it that I didn't get as much here.
I wasn't trying to compare it to a Marvel film though, because they
Yeah.
have so much.
I think it's because also
I
it's affecting
understand
the rest
that.
of the Marvel Universe, too.
But I'm not even meaning in terms of connecting to other movies. I just mean as a movie overall, the grandness of it didn't hit me as much as I thought it should. I still like the movie overall. I think, I like it overall, but it's not perfect, and it's, I don't know.
A movie you saw.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll buy it. I'll watch it again. It's not a waste. It's not a bad movie.
I think it's well done, and can't wait to see the next one.
Yeah,
It's a good
looking forward to
way
the next one.
to resist boredom.
That's true.
Just curious what the hell they were trying to pull with the...
So should we get into the scores now, guys? The new thing we're going to
Excellent.
do. We're going to score movies now because we've given in to the internet and their wills.
Their damn demand of us to attribute arbitrary numbers.
Nah, we just kind of want to be like everyone else. So, scores. Who wants to start us off? Our scale this time is, and for the first time, is crying Tobey Maguires. We'll let you know that straight off the bat. So, how many Tobey Maguires do you guys give this movie?
I will give Amazing Spider-Man 2, no fancy subtitle, 4 crying Tobey Maguire heads out of 5.
All right. I as well. I'm going to give it 4 crying Tobey Maguires out of 5.
You can just stay right there, Tobes.
Not to be a follower, but I give it 4 crying Tobey Maguires out
Wow.
of 5.
Kit, are we going to continue this
Honestly,
trend?
yeah, that's actually the number I was thinking, was
Wow.
crying Toad Maguire heads.
So,
Not a lot of work for Toby.
I
Or
guess...
you, in post.
Just have it flash. I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess we all kind of thought mostly the same about this movie. We all liked it.
Maybe we all had different feelings about different parts.
Yeah, maybe we felt differently
things,
about
but in the end,
But it was all fun. It was a good time to
Yeah.
watch.
I would not mind seeing this several times.
Yeah.
he gets really into
Wow.
it.
Yeah. So,
But, you know,
anyways, hope that helped you. Hope you go see this movie and enjoy it. And if you don't, let us know in the comments. Or if you do, let us know in the comments. Just comment, and we'll be happy.
if you comment, we will mention your comment on the next exciting episode.
Well, or the one after that. It depends. But anyways,
Comment
Or
could just be
comment.
how many curse words you happen to know. Just comment that.
anyways, be sure to
Probably can't say that though.
be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
Comment your favorite color.
I like chartreuse.
Stupid!
It's a hard knock life for us.
Does Jay-Z get royalties for them doing that?
I think so.
Why wouldn't he? Took it from an 80s. Well, he took it from a Broadway
It's his
show.
beat.
He took it from a Broadway show.
The
Yeah.
beat isn't in the original.
They could have thought up that beat for themselves.
No, they didn't.
Look, theirs goes.
They could've.
Dun 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 dun. Mine goes dun 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 dun.
It's an entirely different thing altogether.
It's an entirely different thing.
You didn't use the Django yet. You didn't use.
There's a lot of Jamie Foxx stuff.
Yeah, there's.
At one point, I was going to mention his song, but I didn't. I saw that trailer for Black Cat.
Don't blame it on Max Dillon.
God damn it!
You still want me to thwip though, right?
Yeah, you thwip. Thwip till it.
Thwip it good, dude.
I want you to thwip till you're blue in the face.